welcome to magnificent, exceptional, and necessary conversations, where you have amazing conversation with amazing people. I'm your host, Brandon Bello, and I'm here with my guy, Dave Hatton.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. I'm really excited for this conversation. How are you today?
I'm actually doing pretty good. So I'm having a good week. Just left off of a creative kick real quick. So I'm doing real good. I feel good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I hope you're ready for this conversation today.
I don't know. I don't know. When you're excited like that, it makes me
Yeah, I
nervous.
really am excited because it's a lot of things that I have been kind of going through and trying to figure out myself. This is part of the reason why I am starting this show, starting this podcast, because it gives me a chance to kind of talk and share, go through some of the experiences I'm kind of going through while learning from other people, while I'm still trying to grow and understand kind of myself and being able to be curious and express my curiosity with other people and their experiences in life. So I want to talk about relationships today and kind of like my relationship, your relationships, and maybe we can kind of feed off each other and learn a little bit today.
Okay.
So my first question to you, and I'm gonna go right out the
We
part.
dive right in. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
How would you define a healthy relationship for a man today?
Oh, good questions. I'm gonna start by saying this. Every man is different. So
Agreed.
I feel like there are general healthy characteristics of a relationship, but then that relationships get tailor made per the man and what they want and the type of relationship him and that woman wants. But communication is very important, but so is the flip side of that, comprehension. I can talk, but are we understanding each other? You know what I'm saying? Outside of just talking to each other. I think that a good amount of safety for vulnerability. If I can't be vulnerable, if I can't come lay my heavy things down here or the things that I don't want to talk to about to anybody else, that's something that's very important to me. Am I safe here? Is my emotions safe here? Is my fears safe here? Those are things that I think are important. I would also say transparency. Some people may group that in with vulnerability, but that's very important. I like to be very transparent from the beginning. At my age, I'm 43. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste my time. So let's, you know, um, sex is definitely important. You have to have a healthy sexual relationship. That means, so especially for men, stay healthy. Put some of the beers down. I'm fasting myself now, trying to knock off about 25 pounds right now just to stay in good shape. Um, I also feel that outside of sex, financial communication and structure. Everybody can be different with their finances, but can we talk about finances? Because, for a lot of people that ruffles feathers. You ain't got no money, I ain't got no money, or you got a lot of money, I don't have any money, I got a lot of money, you don't. How we handle finances, how we look at money, our understanding of money, that's another thing that's very important, and I think that is in a healthy relationship. I might be missing a couple. I'm pretty sure I am, but
Yeah, but I think you
key
hit on a
things right
lot.
there,
I think you
for
hit
me.
on a lot. The one thing I want to kind of tackle and dive into is the vulnerability piece.
Okay.
Now, when you speak on vulnerability, the obvious things are being able to share and your emotions without the fear of your woman weaponizing them against you at some point,
Okay.
right? Being able to share your fears and them giving you a healthy space of being able to express yourself and say what's on your mind, and her being able to hold you in that space, right? One of the things that I am currently going through is I don't feel vulnerable with my woman
Okay.
currently. And it's not so much that she can't give me the space to express myself. I don't have the fear that she will like weaponize my emotions. I can be emotional with her. But the comprehension piece, I think that's tied to it.
Okay.
Being able to share things about my ideas, the things that I care about, my desires, my um, just going to like another level within myself, being able to share wisdom and the lack of comprehension that is there kind of shuts me down and makes me less vulnerable in all other spaces.
Okay.
And I don't really know what to do about that.
All right. So let's ask a couple questions because when you say comprehension, I will always start by saying, do you all speak each other's language?
See, I think that's where I don't think we do.
All right.
I think we My language is depth.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever I'm trying to have like conversations with people or about anything, especially when I am trying to connect with somebody, my connection needs to go to a level of where we are exploring growth, we're exploring ideas, we're challenging each other, and that's not the language that she speaks with me.
Okay. And let me ask another question too. When you say depth, are we speaking too deeply for that person? Because see, what I learned is people will talk,
Yeah.
but people get in relationships and they have problem with communication, not thinking about the fact that we don't speak the same language. Number one, where I'm from, how I'm raised, how my family spoke, we may all speak English, but we speak it differently. This phrase means something differently where I'm from versus where you from, and how your setup is the same. So when you come into a relationship, I like to. I'm big on taking time to understanding your person, meaning understanding what language they speak. See the differences in our language. Me now compromising, trying to learn a little bit of yours. You learn a little bit of mine, so we can speak a little bit more fluently and have that good understanding. Because sometimes it's not that the people don't have the ability to understand. We're just speaking a language that translates differently to them, and so the understanding kind of gets lost in translation. If
Yeah.
that makes you know what I'm saying better
Yeah.
sense. And so first, I always say, well, clearly I know you're a talker, so we're not going to state that. So outside of depth, well, getting into depth, what are even if there's a general example, so I can have a better understanding of like, all right, so I like to talk in depthly. Is she like, oh, you're going too deep for me,
No, no, it's
or
not even
okay,
that. It's like she tries to be with me, but she can't she can't take the conversation and continue the conversation so we can get to that point. So I give you an example,
okay,
right? I have a situation with a coworker. Me and a coworker was not getting along, right? And I know the coworker, and I've shared other things about this coworker to her before, like nice things, of how she is, and even sharing some of the conversations that we had about kind of helping her with her like some personal things that she had going on. And when recently I had a situation at my job and I was kind of complaining about the coworker. We was having a button heads a little bit.
okay,
We was having some issues. And there's no questions to figure out kind of what's going on or even challenging me about, is this something that I could be doing better or communicate in a different way. It's just she's trying to have my back, but she's doing it in a way that's unproductive. It's unproductive for the conversation. It's unproductive for me and my growth. Like there is no, she would just kind of get on the person back, like, oh, maybe they act like that in this space. Maybe they do that in that space, and it's like that's not it's not helpful.
you,
That's
you did you so did you not feel supported, or it's more so because you said she's trying to help, but the way she's doing it is not
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
okay.
it's not that it's like I'm even speaking too deeply.
Mm-hmm.
It's her responses stops me in my track to even get to a point of depth.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask. I'm gonna ask a lot of questions. I always ask a lot of questions. So, with her being that way, how long have you all been together? Let me ask that first.
On and off 2 years,
All right, 2 years. That's a long time, but not
but not
necessarily
a
a
long
long
time. Yeah,
time.
yeah,
And what you said was, she'll try to help, but she'll do it this way. Have you attempted at walking her down the best way to help you in those moments? Because remember, we don't come with a book. We can just say, "All right, here go my manual. Learn me in 30 days." You know what I'm saying?
For
We don't
sure.
come like that.
For sure.
And people are always gonna naturally help you the way that helps them until
Yeah.
they learn what you need, or we show them what I need. So have you shown her, hey, like, and remember, my thing is positive, negative, positive.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, I love the fact that you know what I'm saying, there for me, trying to support me. But I noticed in this way, if you do it this way, this would yield a better result because, and give her something positive, to end on. But have you tried showing her how you prefer your support?
I think so. I think I show it by doing it in a way. And I've had conversation with her about the type of like support and interaction that I kind of need. And what I'm missing and how she could better manage that situation in a
Okay.
way. I I like to do it by example, right? The way, and everybody's not the same. I 100% agree with you. Like, it may be difficult for her to talk to me and share with me the way that I talk and share and interact with her, right? I ask questions, right? I coach people outside of, my day-to-day job. So I enjoy asking questions. I'm very curious about understanding more of the situation. She, and this is where it gets tough.
Okay.
She says that she has the same level of curiosity and interest, but she doesn't express it. And that's what I don't know how to pull out of her, or like give her the space to feel. And I don't even know if that's the problem. I don't know if it's a problem of giving her the space to feel comfortable. I don't know if it's something that I have to figure out a way to teach her to do. I don't know.
So let me. Okay, so you said that she has the same curiosity, but you don't see it.
Yes.
So that sounds like maybe she doesn't feel like this is a safe space for me to do that, or does she deal with any anxiety, or is she very sensitive, or
She
anything like
does.
that?
She does.
Because I was gonna say some people don't share
Yeah.
because the anxiety rushes before the act. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I want to tell you this, and then anxiety comes in. No, 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 we can't do that because this could happen. This could happen. You be like, you know what? That could happen, so I'm gonna just do nothing. A lot of people, so they may
Yeah.
need you to hold their hand and walk them through. Again, speaking of what you said, that's safe space. Now, also, I'm gonna go back because you said something. You said I like to do it by showing her. Does she know you're showing her? Because now you may be running this bath specifically the way you like your bath ran. I see you, but I'm not paying you attention to let me pay attention to how this is how he like. I'm just not doing it. And not saying that that's bad or good, just that's life. Sometimes we see
Yeah.
what you're doing, but I'm not paying attention, focusing on it intentionally for a reason. Have you stated like this is
Yeah,
good?
I
Okay.
try to draw the bridge.
Okay.
So although I operate in that way, and but I share it's like I need this, and this. Like I kind of bridge the gap of this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm telling you I need. This is how you can express that in this way,
Okay.
like by drawing the conclusion from me telling you this and me showing you what it looks like.
Gotcha. So, let's speak to a couple of things because I want to make sure I'm not getting off track. So, outside of with communication, with her not being able to express it supports you in the way that you need. How has this been a big problem in your relationship?
Bruh, it's been shutting me down. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't feel safe.
Okay.
And that's what I was talking about. Like that's what is also connected to vulnerability. I think for I don't know if it's just for men, for people in general. Like I tie it to men because it's something that seems like taboo in a way where
Okay.
we need to feel safe and emotionally safe, and not just women being able to weaponize our emotions against us, but being able to share ourself. Period. Being able to still feeling desired by a woman, just in a different way. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical, even though we still want and need that too. But being desired in a way of showing interest of who we are, showing interest of how what's going on with us, showing interest of what we're trying to figure out and problem solve with us. And because I don't feel safe in that area, and I put air quotes up because it's not, like I said, it's not an emotional thing. It's more of it's a me thing. I don't feel like I can really share and talk and connect. That's the thing. I feel like that connection is really missing.
So when you shut down, does she recognize you shutting
Oh,
down?
for sure.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it becomes a nasty
So,
cycle, bro.
so what you're showing her is that she don't know what she doing,
Yes.
which then creates insecurity in her.
Yep.
Maybe a feeling of inadequacy, and you definitely not gonna get an attempt because now the risk is too great. Ooh, he shut down last time, and we've been together 2 years. Maybe he don't. So now I'm not gonna. I'm just like, So unfortunately, in that scenario, you have to extend. You got to extend that bridge, and you have to. If so, this is what I would say. You know what I'm saying? This may not fit for everybody, but this is what I think. In that scenario, the best option is for you to, in that moment, push past you wanting to shut down. If you can work through that, maybe you can actually get to this land where then she can come along for the ride. Because it's like, oh, here I am, blah, blah, blah. Here she comes supporting me in the wrong way. Here I go, shutting down. Now we're at a standstill. I know she's not going to support me in the right way. So when it comes, I expect it, and I'm going to push through it and give her I'm going to give her what I would give her if she was supporting me in the right way. So then we can get over this hump. And then maybe as we continue, I can show that way. But the shutting down, that may be part of your issue.
I agree. No, I agree with
Part
that.
of the issue, what I'm saying is that may be creating.
Yes.
Okay.
It's making it worse. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
I think it's making it worse.
All right.
Now, where I have a little pushback or hesitance about that, and me playing a role of her being able to do what I need her to do, is the times where things were great, even from her lens, can speak on she felt great, she felt safe, she felt comfortable, all these other things. And even then, I couldn't get what I needed. And I expressed what I needed.
So even all right, so let me make sure I'm gonna make sure I get clear. You know, I'm big on clarity. So at the height, at the best point of you all's relationship, even when she was feeling great, she was operating, you still weren't getting what you need.
Correct. And I expressed it vividly. Like, my energy is unsustainable at the level that I'm giving you everything that you need to feel safe because of the things that she has going on, and the amount of attention that she needs for those particular things having going on. It's not that I don't mind giving it, but the energy is unsustainable when I'm not receiving the energy back for me to feel safe.
Yeah,
also.
you feel like you're pouring out a lot and no one's pouring into you.
And I've had this conversation with her from the jump when things were good, and I warned her in a way of, this is what's going to happen. I don't have the energy to sustain this.
Now, so all right, question, because we did say a keyword right there. I warned her. Now, if she can't do something, and you already seen a pattern, she don't know how to support you in this way. So can we warn her? It's either then that comes to your recognition. She either can or she can't. Now, if you've explored all possibilities, have you all outside of communication? Have you all spoken with maybe other couples or something, or a couple who does exude that what you're looking for? Maybe they can have a different way to speak to her that she might understand, or
I think
counseling.
That's the next step. I think that's the next step. We spoke about it. We talked about it a couple of times. Either going to a counselor, talking to a third party of some sort. And I think that is needed. I do think that in relationships, women, and men too, people in general, but I think it is hard for people to hear things, especially in an emotional state, and hear somebody that's really close to them, especially when they are doing something that is hurting the person that they're close to.
Yeah.
Even if they're sharing, it's like, you know, this is happening to me and this situation is bringing me pain. It's still hard to hear and hard to do something about, even if they, you know, take it on in a moment or process it even later. And I think that we need some type of third party
to help translate
the things that I am saying for her to get and understand.
So let me ask another question. You may not know the answer, but I think you do. Do you think she has possesses the possibility to be able to give you what you want? Do you think it's in there? That's what I'm saying. Is it in the pudding?
If I didn't think so, I would have left.
Okay. All right. Good answer. So that means that there's hope. So yeah, I would definitely suggest a third party at this point, because you've tried everything that you can do, and maybe you don't have the right recipe to give it to her, or maybe she's not hearing correctly, or, you know, worst case scenario, maybe she's just not able to do that right now and doesn't know how to. So on that note, I'm gonna say I want to know how it goes after y'all talk to the counselor. Now, outside of that, I wanted to state this earlier. You mentioned earlier about men needing a safe space to land. Most women don't know. Okay, and this is, you know, a lot of women just found out we had emotions about 5-7 years ago. And this is still new. It's still nuanced conversation for a lot of people.
Yes.
Men, I'm going to state this. Men need a larger, safer, emotional, let's say, strip to land on. If my emotions is my plane and I'm in my plane, I need a long, safe landing spot to land this plane. Why? Because Men's vulnerability is also can be used against them. All right. Men are brute. We're big. We're physical. We can take some pain, physical pain. But that emotional, that's how a lot of women get to us, the emotional side. So
100%.
when you're a man and you're taught that you need to provide and protect and men don't cry and you got to deal with this and you need to be strong, you are very, very selective of where you lay your vulnerability. Because if that vulnerability is mislaid and picked up and used against you, that's problematic. And it puts us in a very tight situation. Because number one, no woman, you hear them all say, no woman wants a weak man. Us showing vulnerability is almost like I'm taking off my armor right now. I'm showing you I'm exposed. You can hurt me right now. I need to know this is okay. Because if I lay this down here, is it not going to come up when we outside around other people, around other men, around other women? Is this going to be used against me, as you said earlier, weaponized? And a lot of women do not understand that. That's the hurt. You may not can hurt me physically. Oh, but you can hurt me emotionally. And it's the opposite for women. Because women, you can sit there, you ain't this and that and that. Y'all get into arguments. I hear people arguing. They don't care. And they'll keep going, blah, blah, because your words ain't hurting them. They done heard everything.
Throw that right in the back of her head. Keep them moving.
You not hurting no woman with your words because they've heard too much. So they know they can. That's why they'll keep talking, talk right over you. You ain't got to hear it. And not saying that all women just talk over you. I just want to state that for the record. But that's a big conversation right there in itself. You know what I'm saying? The amount of safety that men need to bring vulnerability to the table. Yes. I just wanted to speak on that real quick because that's something that I'm big.
I 100% agree, man. I 100% agree. And the fact that women have just now like I've literally talked to women and they've told me they didn't know men had emotions. Like it's outrageous. How would they?
You know, unless they grew up in a home with a father who expressed his emotions, or a mom who knew her father's emotion and maybe expressed that to the kids like this is, or if they saw it themselves. A lot of us grew up in single homes, so we are at a deficit for certain things. And then you have a single parent home raising a child. We're still great kids. I'm a single parent. We still great and we can still function great in relationships, but there's always going to be deficit. Yep. If it's meant to be two people to raise a child and you only got one, there's going to be deficits somewhere. And a lot of us in relationship, we struggle when it comes to the other person, especially that topic, women caring for men and their emotions, having a safe spot, and men on the other end for understanding and operating in emotion. I'm a very logical person, so as well as I have a lot of empathy, sometimes I don't have it at the right times or the right way. Yeah. So I'll take the logical stance, and I need to be operating more in the emotional sense to understand where my wife is coming from, or or friends or people like that. And I don't always do great at that. Yeah. But that's one of my flaws because I didn't always see the man laying down for the woman. Argument here, it's not logical. I'm still sometimes saying, but that don't make any sense. Logically, this and I'm losing the argument right there, setting myself up for failure.
Now I got a question, like with you saying that, do you find yourself moving out of empathy even more so when you are dealing with a level of not feeling vulnerable or safety in the moment?
If so, I would definitely say if I don't feel safe to be vulnerable, I'm definitely gonna operate more out of logic. I mean, like I say, I'm very empathetic. I have a lot of empathy in me, and I'm able to very aware with emotions and let's say emotionally intelligent. But anytime you don't feel safe, the logic comes there, or you shut down. Yeah, because I can't continue. It's a waste of my time to continue here. Let me just
I found myself doing that because I'm the same way. I actually am pretty emotional. I run through a lot of emotional waves. That's kind of how I gain a lot of understanding, how I process a lot of stuff that I go through. But I'm also very logical, but I can be empathetic, all of the things, right? But I find myself a lot more outside of my heart space when I don't feel safe in the moment, when I don't feel vulnerable, I don't feel like I can really express myself and be heard.
Yeah,
When I don't feel that way, it's like all of that gets shut down, even for them. Like I know I can be empathetic. I hear what they're saying. I can even I can feel what they're saying when I
hmm
let myself kind of go and I let my guard down a little bit, and I can be with them in a moment. But sometimes that takes a while. I am so kind of blocked off because I'm like,
hmm
were you not hearing me? You're not feeling me. And I feel almost disrespected. Like my emotions and everything that I'm going through and how I feel in moments feel disrespected because how you feel takes precedent in a relationship as a woman. And it's not something that it's so normal that it's like we almost have to accept it. And it's something about that that I don't like.
Now I want to make sure I got that question right. Saying that it's almost something that we accept. Be a little clear on that for me. Expound on that a little
I
more.
feel like it's so normal for women's emotions to take precedence or how men feel in that moment that we have to it's expected of us to let our sword down for them to be able to express and let them win an argument because it's an emotional argument. How they feel is we not gonna get through it. Feel how you feel. I'm gonna leave it alone, let you rock out, and then we move on.
So I would say for a long time that's been the natural. We're kind of coming around now to where a lot of people are being taught how you feel is important. It is valued. Speak how you feel. But I will say the natural men will always cower down on that because there's not a space safe enough for them to be or room for them to be heard outside of what they're saying that either upset her or how she's feels. If she's going how I feel and he's saying but and he's doing logic, both heads. Somebody gotta, take the backseat to get the solution,
For sure, I agree
or
with that.
resolve.
Even before that though, like having situations where dealing with women and she does something to make you feel a certain type of way. You respond or you react to what she did, makes her feel some type of way. Now because she feels some type of way, damn how you feel.
But we know for a long time, and women are getting better at this now. But we know for a long time, everybody knows this. Women are not good at taking accountability. Okay, that's number one.
For
So
sure.
when you come in with logic, pretty much saying, "But hey, this is how I felt," da 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 da, that then points a finger at them, and we not taking no fingers being pointed at us because I feel this way.
Yeah.
Now, because of this, it's becoming more known now, and it's an issue. Women are starting to become better. They're they're taking accountability.
Some.
Some are taking accountability quicker. Like instead of 2 weeks later, we had a week for some. We had maybe the next day, maybe later that night. But it's happening. But that's been a big thing. Accountability. It's accountability. I don't know. I do not have the answer to this. We would have to speak to a woman on this. Why is it so hard when men saying, "Hey, this is what was done to me"? There's times that you get a lot of tit for tat. Well, you did this to me. I understand that, and that
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah.
But I asked for the floor. This is the issue I want to talk about, and I want to talk about what happened to me.
Yes.
And I don't know why that is. I've had conversation on exploring that, but I don't want to speak for women. So I would want to ask them. I know how it feels, but I don't want to speak for them. But I think that that's the biggest issue with that. It's accountability. And then when men know, all right, she's not taking accountability, she ain't hearing it, then we say, all right, whatever. And then let you win the argument. All of a sudden I'm quiet. And the problem with that is that volcano, that resentment that builds when the constant of that. But as men, unfortunately, as men, we are responsible with leading.
Yeah.
So even though if she ain't giving it, I still got to lead by example. I still got the, as my father used to say, sometimes you got to die to win. It don't feel good to die to win. But if the goal is resolve, solution, healthy relationships, and as a man, because manhood is a synonym with responsibility, unfortunately, we got to die a whole lot more. But we made to do that.
We are made to do that. I
And
do agree with that.
but dying with purpose.
Yes.
Because you can't just start people pleasing. Oh, I'm losing. No, no, no. I'm dying so that I can calm this situation down, so that I can be able to maybe we can talk about it later. I'll be able to usher in maybe how I feel then. But in this moment, if she's not hearing it, we're not gonna push it through her because she ain't hearing it. So let me take this battle down. We'll fight again, or we'll be able to talk again. Get to the. Go Go ahead.
Now
I'm sorry.
that no, for that, you speaking truth, man. I love it, and that's exactly how I feel. And speaking on that, what is because this is this is one of those hills that is hard for me not to die on, bro. Because I feel like I said, it almost feels like to a point where I almost feel like disrespect because I've been going through it so much and putting myself on the back burner, how I feel on the back burner to try to um, make them feel safe, make them feel secure, make them feel good in the moment and its totality of the relationship altogether. And in order for me to have done that in the past, again, I've dealt with women who didn't recognize men had emotions. So my feelings like never really mattered. And I've gotten to a point where I know that where that road takes me. I can't walk that road no more.
I mean, it sounds like we got a little trauma.
It,
Sounds like a little trauma. That's a key word right now. Little trauma.
I mean,
Little
maybe,
trauma here.
but
All right.
so and at what point, like when is it trauma? Because again, it's like when you're going through something for so long, and I was trying to do that because I've been a people pleaser, especially with women. Like I grew up desiring so badly for a relationship. I still do. Like it doesn't that the desire hasn't really died down, but my maturity and how I deal with situations and not allowing myself to be essentially disrespected or not uncared for in that way. That's the part I can't do anymore for the sake of just a relationship.
And I understand that, and I know because I was gonna say we might want to start at the beginning, but sometimes you don't know until you're in it. You don't know that that's there. So
Yeah, for sure.
I respect that. I understand that. So now, like I said, in that situation, it's you're saying what you need. That person is not understanding it. All right. You've tried. Now you got to stop trying. The only option right now for you all to do is bring in a third party just to help translate.
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
and that would be to me, that's your next step. Now, after that, that's another conversation, but that would definitely be the next step because if you're there, then you believe she can, and you're saying that, hey, maybe I'm not doing it right, maybe I'm not saying it right, but I do need this. So I definitely say that taking that next step with therapy, maybe, or
Yeah.
even if someone else that you feel has a little bit more experience or who speaks your language but can translate in others.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree with that. I wanted to segue into you a little bit.
Okay.
And kind of
Oh.
with that being said about like that's my kind of it's not yet a deal breaker because I believe there may be something there, but it's very damn close. It's very very damn close.
Okay.
What is it for you that outside of the the big things that obvious like the cheating and all that other stuff, what is it for you that where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line of what you will not accept from your spouse, from your woman, when it comes to how treating you as a man?
All right. So for me, I'm very simple. I got one thing, and this could go to some of the people who believe in astronomy or whatever the case may be. I'm a Sagittarius, by the way. Freedom is a big thing for me. Now, what that means is I'm not a person who wants to be reckless and I'm out here talking to other women or dating. That's not what I'm talking about. Do not try to control me. And what that means is there's always some level of respect and stuff that we submit to and boundaries and stuff like that. I'm keeping my boundaries, but the moment you're trying to control me, and especially if you're trying to control me based on you or fear or trauma or that, I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. I can't deal with that because you have two type of dogs. That's what I heard. Okay, I believe this. You have dogs you walk on the leash, and you have dogs you walk off the leash. When you put the dog on the leash that you walk off the leash, their whole existence becomes about getting off that leash. That's me. If you don't put a leash on me, I'll walk right next to you the full time because the feeling of freedom, like I said, it doesn't mean, oh, I get to do whatever I want. No, I'm still in a relationship. I'm going to still respect that relationship. But we all know when we feel like we're being controlled. Oh, well, why'd you do that? Well, maybe you should do this turns into, well, don't do that. Well, I don't like when you do this to, well, you shouldn't go. Why are you doing, don't, Because if it's just based on you, what that got to do with me? You don't want me to go here because you feel what? What does the history tell us? I care about your feelings, but why are we, why are we really? That's my thing. Control is that's my number one. And if you're loving someone else, why you loving me? Now talk about cheating. Sex is different. We can move past sex. I'm 43. We can move past sex. But if you're in love with somebody else, when you supposed to be in love with me, then you got to go because you got to go be in love with whoever you in love with. Those are my two pet peeves. And my third one, the last one, this because I got children. How you raise your children. That's it.
How she raised
Yeah,
her children?
how you would raise your
Oh,
children.
your
Yeah,
children. Okay.
that's a pet peeve for me.
Like what?
So if you don't raise your kids, we not gonna be
Straight
together.
up,
There
you don't
it
raise
is.
them,
Yeah.
it's over with.
If you don't raise your kids, and if and it's about value systems and alignment.
Yeah.
If we don't align or how I feel about this or my structure system, yours, and my kids are grown now, thank God. But that was something that was big for me.
Speaking of values, what are some like what is your biggest values when it comes to a relationship? Do they change for you, like your personal values, and then going into a relationship? Is there a shift there?
Um, I've matured and evolved, so some of my things are a little different. Some stuff that I held on to so tight when I was like 20, in my early 20s and stuff, not so much now. But now the biggest things I value family, I value relationships, I value uh, respecting one's time and space. I'm a very simple person. I don't have a long list of stuff. I'm a feeler and I'm very intuitive, so I know what's up, and I don't need a lot to be okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a lot, but I would say that's probably about it. I probably should define those a little bit more, but yeah, those are my big values. Like I'm big on relationships, friendships, family, stuff like that. I value that a lot. That and freedom, my freedom, and freedom meaning. And I should have said this earlier. Freedom meaning I'm gonna be my authentic self. So please take your time, ask any question, observe, and learn me. Because the minute you trying to get me to be something else that I'm not, or that's not in the line what I'm trying to be, what I told you, I start to count the clock. 100%. I'm counting the clock.
Every time.
And I don't have a problem leaving.
Every time. Every time.
Yeah.
This is why you my guy, right? Though, like
100%,
we
100 grand.
have a lot of the same value, same thing: freedom, the relationships, being able to be authentically me. Like
now I'm gonna flip the coin. On that.
Okay.
Just as much as I like freedom, am I providing the right safety for her to be comfortable to allow me? And I'm saying a lot of women have a lot of hurt. Yeah. A lot of women have a lot of trauma. We got a lot of grown boys out there really putting some emotional damage on a lot of our women. Okay. So I give transparency. I feel like I give what I need.
Yeah. So
you can have an understanding of who I am and you can feel secure. So that way you can then reciprocate that for me.
Yep.
And I can have that freedom. But that's one thing that's important. You have some men coming into relationships. Oh no, I got to be this, but you ain't provided nothing. You have not given this woman anything to feel safe enough to trust you. And that's a big thing that I want to make sure I speak to. Like I always say, everything, and I will always say this, everything starts with the man.
I agree.
It starts with the man. And that means if you are the one, if you all are having an issue, even though you're the one understanding, maybe she isn't, you're going to help find solution or resolve. You're going to lead that walk to you all to get what you need,
I 100% agree.
Sometimes they don't want to go, just like a mule.
They don't want to go.
Just like a mule, they don't want to go, but you got the tug and you got the lead, and she gonna hate you, but you got to do what's best for the overall. If you're the leader, if you're the visionary for that family, we got to get here.
I may come back to that.
Okay.
I may come back to that. But I 100% agree, and I think that's why I stand so firm on how I feel about this, because if we have the burden of leadership responsibility and we're looked at to be these things and provide these things, respect me, respect me, respect how I feel, respect my feelings, because my job is to do that. My job is to provide you safety, provide you comfort, provide you vulnerability, provide a safe space, and provide a spiritual growth, personal development, everything that I can do to lead you to become a better person, to have a better life.
Mm-hmm.
If that is my job and I am doing my job, respect me
Mm-hmm.
and respect how I feel, and we can get along very, very well.
See, but then that's a twofold thing, because you may feel like I'm doing my job, respect me, and she's sitting on the other end of that spectrum like, you ain't doing shit. I ain't respecting nothing. You know what I'm saying?
No, for
So
sure.
and that's where it
I
goes
agree.
into.
I
Are we in alignment with what is needed?
Yes.
Are you even capable of understanding and taking in what I'm giving?
Yeah.
Do you see, like, if I'm giving you safety, are you able to see that? I like the biggest thing I can say over and over again is you have to take time to really understand and observe, ask a million questions to learn your person.
I agree.
Most people's relationship ends either A, because somebody was lying about they really want to be there, or we just couldn't get past. I'm not gonna say these are the only two reasons, but when it comes to communication, we couldn't get past the fact that we have an emotional, passionate, fire with each other because of something that we did, and because we can't get past that, we can't talk.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I say, back to the beginning, you got to bring somebody else in there who's non-biased, who can just hear you all and say, what he's saying is this, what she's saying is this.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey,
but to your point, though, that's something that I 100% agree with, because that's something that I try to move with early on too, because I value that. I value transparency. I value freedom, and that's something I speak on very, very early on. Like, hey, this is how I am. You don't tell me how I can move, but I also provide the same thing. And when I'm transparent, like I used to tend to overshare. Like, I would tell you everything I'm doing because I'm letting you know. Like,
yeah, you give too much too soon.
you know what I'm saying? And
they
that
be overwhelmed.
ends up backfiring every time.
Yeah.
But I still try to be very open about, like, hey, I'm doing this. This is what's going on. Blah blah blah. I'm moving here, just to provide that level of safety and comfort of you know where I'm going, you know where I'm at, all that stuff like that. Because I ain't doing nothing I need to hide, right? And at the same time, it's something that I try to not necessarily push, but provide the other person or give space for the other person to have the same thing, because I value it so much. It's not just a personal value of mine. I value everybody's freedom. Like, I want you to be free too. If you want to go on a trip by yourself to a different and just kick it and have fun, go on a hike, go see the ocean, go.
I give you an example. So my son, okay, he's the baby. So and I'm gonna speak to this. My son, is dealing with any young man is dealing with right now. They're putting a ridiculous amount of pressure on themselves. Society has now told young men that you need to be rich yesterday. Why do you not have 10 houses and you're 18? Bruh, your real estate portfolio is trash and you're 21. So they have a lot of pressure on them. And I was talking to my son about something. I said, listen, you are getting the best blessing right now that you can ever get. Okay. I may not have $1 million to toss you right now, but I got time to give you. You have no pressures about moving out. You have no need for anything outside of your bills that you have for yourself. You got time to figure it out, but he can't recognize that. Sometimes what you're giving her, what you think you're giving her is safety, or even all this wonderful, healthy relationship, depending on where she is, she might not even be able to recognize that. I've been nice and I'm going to say this, let me preface this first. I've been all the guys in a relationship for the most part. My fuckboy stage ain't as deep as some of these new people now, but I've been the bad guy. I've been, I've been all of that. So sometimes they can't recognize what you're giving them as something safe. Think about it. If I'm a person who's been in so many traumatic situations, your safety, I'm not going to trust it. You're like, I'm just being me. I want you to be okay. And they like, what's your angle? So sometimes what we're giving, they're not even recognizing what it is if she's never experienced that, or it's so foreign that then, of course, you're like, well, I'm showing you what it is, but I don't recognize, I don't know what this is. So then how do I take it in, digest it, regurgitate it, and then give it back to you? Because I'm still trying to figure out, like, all right, I mean, he nice, but so when he gonna hit me? Or all right, he nice, but when he gonna cheat? He say he care, but do he really care? Because the last one cared and stuff like that. So I almost lost my train of thought right there. But I went back to saying, if you're giving it to them, are they seeing? Are they recognizing what you're offering? Are they seeing this example as an example, or just something that's so foreign, it's going nowhere? You know.
Yeah, and I experienced both, man. I got many a box by providing that safety. At the same time, that box also come with that fear of when is the coin going, when is the switch gonna flip, right? So it's a double-edged sword, man. It's a double-edged sword. But I'm learning. We're gonna have to do a part two, bro.
I'm fine with that.
I have more questions. It's so many things that I still want to explore. I didn't even want this to be mostly about me, but I thank you.
Yeah. I'm always here, and I know the conversation might have winged a little here and there, but I'm always up to come back and talk about the same topic. I could talk about, and I'm not an expert. These are my thoughts, my little opinions of my 43 years of things that I pick up and govern my life by. And I hope if I do share something, a perspective, whatever that helps somebody else, great. If it sucks and it don't work, my apologies.
I feel you. It's something I can talk about all day too, man. Yeah. And you've given me some things to think about for sure. I gotta do some reflection and have a conversation.
Let me leave with this, okay? Where you are right now in that situation, simplify everything. Always simplify everything. It makes it easier to deal with. Relationships, let's break everything down to simplest form. There's something that I need that you are not able to give me yet. How can I help you? Or how is the best way for me to show you? Some people may know this is how I learn, this is the best way, or ask her like, hey, when I'm trying to explain, is there a better way that I could do it? Everybody can teach you how to teach them. We always want to tell people, well, I can teach you. No, let them teach you how to teach them. You know what I'm saying? That's real important. A lot of people don't do that. That's a big thing, And sometimes it's easier than you think. But I would say be careful about that one area that you're in, which is shutting down. Your shutting down could be pushing her further into where she is, that she can't do what you want. Not even that she won't, she can't. No, so, I would say work on that too, because if you stop shutting down, maybe if you can guard your emotions or deal with your frustrations and the fact that I'm not going to get what I want. If we can move past it, like, I already know I'm not getting what I want, so I'm expecting not to get what I want, but I'm going to stay here in this conversation and slowly walk it to see if we can get over that spot to maybe walk into a new area where what you want, it lives in here. But we got to be able to get there. And if you shutting down, that cuts the walk off. Yeah. And you got to lead that walk. I hope that made sense.
No, it made a lot of a lot of sense, bro. That's something I've been pondering on, and I needed this conversation. I did need this conversation.
You know my number. Anytime you want to talk to me, all you got to do is call me.
Yeah. No, so thank you.
Thank you for having me.
For sure, man. I really appreciate the time. I appreciate all of the wisdom. I want to just end with saying thank you for being magnificent, exceptional.
Hey, I hope somewhere in there necessary. Is a nugget. Yes, sir. That wasn't bad.